see the change, the tone, but they couldn't handle that. Nope, they couldn't handle that. If they really knew the fact, yeah, they really don't know. To have a gift, it is a curse.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel where we discuss popular mainstream music. And today we're going to be talking about Normani versus Chloe, okay? With the catch of Britney Spears versus Christina Aguilera, okay? Yes. And what I'm basically going to be doing is looking at this comparison with Normani and Chloe. And by the way, this comparison is not about who's better. It's nothing immature like that. This is more about comparing and contrasting the artistry, okay, and the skill sets of Chloe and Normani and their brand, okay, and correlating that, okay, to Britney and Christina, okay, because there's a similarity. And I just created this theory, okay, this is like a fun kind of like my own little theory essay that their careers are very parallel, and I believe that looking at Britney and Christina, you can understand what it is that Normani and Chloe is all about and what I think they are all about and should do. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed the little snippet of music in the beginning of this video, that is my single. Check it out, guys. I'm a music artist myself, and I definitely appreciate it if you guys listen to my music too. It's on YouTube here, so just type my name and it will pop up, and on all music streaming platforms, so definitely check it out. But getting back into the topic of the video, which is Normani and Chloe, and comparing and correlating it to Britney and Christina. Okay, so here's my theory, okay? My thing is that, number one, Normani and Chloe, they both as solo artists came around the same time. Of course, Normani came in before, and then Chloe came, I think, like a year later, or maybe like almost 2 years later. But they came around the same time. And they're both pop R&B artists who dance, okay? And they both do like pop R&B. So there is a lot of similarities, a lot of comparison. People do compare Chloe and Normani a lot, because they both kind of were the girls that were compared to Beyonce and like the next girl to like take it over in terms of being like this big black performer, which they have done in their own right. But these two girls, sadly, in my opinion, and I say this unfortunately, get a lot of criticism. And certain people want them to do certain things and this and that. And in my opinion, the way I look at Normani and the way I look at Chloe is the way I look at Britney Spears and the way I look at Christina Aguilera. Okay, Normani being Britney and Chloe being Christina Aguilera. So we're first going to start with Normani. Normani to me is like a Britney Spears, okay, when you talk about this. And one of the main things, okay, that comes with being a Britney Spears is consistency, okay? Britney, when she came out, she put her first 3 albums back to back, okay? And we're talking about tours in between, and the whole thing. Like, Britney did not literally take a break until her 3rd album. That was well into like 2002. And she started off like 1998. So Britney is consistent. One thing about Britney is she puts out a lot of content. When she's working, she works. And this could have been to her detriment. Of course, they overworked her. But Normani being the Britney Spears in this equation, Normani needs to put out. Now, I know Normani has issues, maybe with her label, she can't put out. But there are so many other things you can do. You can go on SoundCloud. Look at Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X, he has been putting music out on SoundCloud. And I bet if Normani would have put music out on SoundCloud, it would go crazy. There are certain things that you can do on your own. TikTok. Normani's a dancer. TikTok is going out now, but when TikTok was big, Normani could have capitalized so much on TikTok, considering she's such a good dancer. And she could have used that to promote her music and her projects. Like TikTok was very loose with music. So the music that she would have on SoundCloud, she could easily convert it to TikTok. Like there's so many rebellious things like that she could have done in order to be like, hey, I'm an artist, if her label is truly setting her back, okay? Because we don't know the full story. I'm gonna just be honest about that. We don't know the full story, so it could be Normani not feeling comfortable to put out work. But whatever it is, consistency is so important to be the Britney. And I'm not saying that Normani is supposed to be the Britney Spears. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about in terms of positioning, in terms of branding, in terms of what is your purpose as an artist. And to be that in this equation of Britney versus Christina with Normani versus Chloe, Normani is the Britney. You have to be consistent. The next thing with Normani being the Britney is pop and dance. Britney is a pop star. And I'm not saying Normani has to be a full-blown pop star. But Britney is a pop star. And you can incorporate different R&B tones and cooler tones within your pop music. You know, pop is flexible. But at the end of the day, Britney is pop and dance. And with Normani, this is very important for her. She needs to do music that makes you dance, that makes you go up. She needs to show off her dance move, her athleticism, and even go into pop music because Normani is coming from Fifth Harmony. This is where her huge fan base is coming from. So I'm not saying don't give us that pop R&B flair. I've seen so many artists do it, but to completely start off with slow R&B songs, you know, that is not what artists are looking for. It's not that she can't do it, but that should be like a third single, you know. 159 is too slow. And a visual is always needed with Normani. Because even Wild Side, audio-wise, still isn't necessarily what people were expecting, even though Wild Side is great. But with the visual, it gives you that dance element. So the pop and the dance are important elements with Britney. That is Britney. She's pop and dance. So this has to be present with Normani. Normani is coming from Fifth Harmony. Normani, we love her when she dances. That type of motivation energy. She doesn't have to do that type of music, but that element of pop and dance needs to be within Normani. And again, like I know Normani loves R&B, so I love the R&B. And she does well with that. But you can infuse it and still incorporate like Candy Paint. That is a great single to start off with. I mean, that element of pop and dance is what you need to get into. Okay, pop, R&B, dance, whatever. But dance needs to be there and pop needs to be there. And I think Normani kind of escaping away from pop may not be the best thing. Because so much of her core fan base are pop fans. Now with Chloe. And Chloe in this is the Christina Aguilera. Okay, Chloe is the Christina Aguilera. Now, what I think Chloe needs to take notes from this is ballads. Okay, Christina Aguilera could pop it and twerk it and dance it. And don't get me wrong, I do not for a second think Chloe needs to stop dancing. I'm not one of those people. I think Chloe is fine dancing. I like it when Chloe dances, and I love her up tempos. But what Christina Aguilera always did was she had a ballad. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me
every single way. Those words can't bring me down. Oh no, just don't you bring me down today, baby. If you're always putting up your guard, this is how the circus goes.
she killed that. And that was one of her big things. And it's like, it's so important to have ballads. And I think that helped Christina Aguilera's career, because Christina Aguilera is a vocalist. So you gotta showcase your vocals. And I think ballads would really help Chloe's career so much more. Strong ones like a Halo, like a Hurt, like those would help her, because her fans so much want that.
Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to feel the world around me. I had no time to choose. La 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 la. Do 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 do. No one else can make me feel the colors that you bring. Stay with me while we grow old, and we will live each day in the springtime. 'Cause loving you has made my life so beautiful, and every day of my life is filled with loving you. Loving you, I see your soul come shining through.
She has such a strong R&B fan base. They really want these ballads from her. And there's nothing wrong with the up-tempo dance music. But just like with Normani, her fans really want the pop dance. Chloe, your fans really want the R&B. They really want the vocals and the singing. And I feel like Chloe should still up and dance. Just look like Christina. This is why I'm comparing her to Christina. Because Christina up and dance. Look at Dirty. Look at All I Want Is You. Like, she always danced. And then I'm not even saying, and Chloe can do like a song where she dances with it too, but still showcase the vocals, still sing with it. What a Girl Wants, that song that Christina Aguilera sings, there was a little choreography to it, but it was still a vocal song. I feel like Chloe should embrace her vocals more. Don't do the little rapping and like the little monotone. Like, really showcase your vocals, even in an up-tempo song where you're dancing a lot. Still showcase your vocals. And yes, that leads me to the second thing with her comparing, is to showcase your vocals no matter what. Christina Aguilera, even when she did a song like Dirty, where it was a lot of dancing and movement, she would always take the second to go, ah! Like, she would always have those moments where she just hold the mic and just belt like crazy. Like, Chloe needs more of those moments where she's belting, where she's giving you vocal gymnastics, where she's showcasing her vocals, even immense in the choreography, because I think people would really appreciate that. Oh yes, that is my little theory with Normani and Chloe Bailey. These artists do get criticized a lot, and I do think it's unfortunate, because I think they're incredibly talented, and I also think they're in certain circumstances that they cannot control. You know, there's a lot of things that go outside of their control. Chloe has expressed that. With Normani's situation, we have seen that. But when I look at these artists and I compare them, and we look at the things that I feel like they need to fall into, it's like comparing to me, you know, some people say Brandy and Monica. I feel like not really. I feel like it's like Britney and Christina. Normani again being Britney. I think Normani needs to lean into consistency, being that consistent pop star. Even if it's like on TikTok short videos, she needs to be consistent, and she needs to focus on dance and up-tempo and pop music. And I think with Chloe, she needs to lean more into that Christina Aguilera, which is showcasing vocal abilities, doing a lot more ballads, okay, putting in more of that, do 2 ballads as singles, and still doing up-tempo songs, still dancing, because I love that, but showcasing your vocal abilities more in your songs. Even your up-tempo songs, showcase your vocal abilities, lean into them vocals. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the comparison with Normani and Chloe? Me looking at them like a Britney versus Christina. I feel like they should lean more into this and their careers would be more impacted. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys at the next video.